Kendrick Lamar really did get a stadium full of people and millions watching at home, who I assume screamed it at their TVs, to, in unison, call Drake a pedophile.
He did.
All at the same time. And while wearing flared jeans and laughing while doing it. And it was a night for the haters. Just a fun night for everyone.
Give this man his Nobel Hate Prize.
Yes, Kendrick did the victory lap. The Philadelphia Eagles were merciless in their victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Swift got booed. Trump was met with a bit of cheers and jeers, which I guess makes sense considering how the country voted. But yeah, it's like, if you watch the Fox broadcast, it's lots of cheering, lots of videos from the crowd where there were very audible boos. So there you go. And then, of course, the Philadelphia fan base took to the streets to sacrifice a few light poles and brain cells in order to celebrate, as is tradition. Yeah. However, we were having a blast on stage with James and Elise and the rest of the crew for his show Answer For It. It was a lot of fun, and it was also great meeting a bunch of you in person. Hopefully we get to do some more live stuff in the future.
Also, if you missed it, because you were, I don't know, doing something else, can't imagine why, watching the show, the live stream is available, I believe, for like the next week. If you pay the $15 for the live stream ticket, you can watch it because that's how it works. Eventually it's going to be gone.
Yeah, so we'll leave a link in the description again, or the description, so you can get it if you want.
Now, obviously, there were a bunch of commercials that all of your coworkers were excited to see and talk about. This is what we got, the water cooler or whatever, the Slack version of a water cooler.
They were like, this is why work from home doesn't work for me. I have to pester you at the water cooler.
Who do I talk to about the ad?
They turned seal into a seal. We were all slapping our knees.
But, yeah, only two in particular stood out. The first was a pretty good one. Yeah, I had Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson of Detroiters fame.
Yeah.
They did a Totino's Pizza Rolls commercial where an alien is killed in front of a bunch of children.
It is pretty funny.
The rest of the ads were just celebrity cameos in weird scenarios, including one commercial where apparently, starved for ideas, Mountain Dew turned the once highly regarded singer-songwriter Seal into an actual seal.
Whoa!
And they made him sing his Batman song for everyone.
Yes. It's time for you to do the humiliation ritual, Seal. Get up here.
But now for the bad. Yeah. It feels like we've been unintentionally foreshadowing this for the past week on the show, but I guess it's good that we started covering it early because otherwise it would seem pretty strange seeing an advertisement featuring Kanye West in a dentist chair, seemingly high on the nitrous, and telling people to go to his website and buy a shirt with a swastika on it. Yeah, that's what he's selling, and that's what he's advertising on the Super Bowl.
Also, just intentionally looking the other way from anyone who is accepting these advertisements, because is your head really that buried in the sand that you have no idea what Kanye West has been up to? The guy who is spending allegedly millions of dollars to advertising on your
book these things weeks and months in advance. And also, I mean, the swastika wasn't in the commercial.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's never sold anything quite like this before. I get trying to say that. Probably assumed it was like shoes. Maybe some homeless-looking clothes that cost exorbitant prices. Not just a swastika t-shirt.
But since you watch this show, you are aware that Kanye recently, admittedly, went off his meds after self-diagnosing himself with autism and then going on an anti-Semitic pro-Hitler posting spree on President Elon Musk's social media platform. And leading up to all this, however, was the news that Kanye had gotten hooked on nitrous oxide, aka nitrous, aka laughing gas, or just fancy whippets, because you're getting them from a doctor.
A really, really buff doctor.
Yes, that doctor is a big old beef.
He got the white coat, but no sleeves.
Well, those sleeves, they blew off when he flexed to you.
It was a normal lab coat before, but then, flexed.
He's like the Hulk in that sense. Yes, that guy's name is Thomas Connolly, and that was the dentist who was included on those leaked text messages that Milo Yiannopoulos...
Can I have the nitrous?
Yeah, and he agreed to supply Kanye with that nitrous after being asked directly, can I have the nitrous today? So Kanye, I guess, spent a bunch of money on airtime and then just recorded himself in what I assume is his dentist chair.
Yeah, he could afford it.
In his own home, probably, with his nitrous tanks. And seeming like he was pretty out of it. He tells the audience of what you would assume was over 100 million people to go to his website. And on that website, you could buy one item in particular, just one, a white T-shirt with a large swastika in the middle of it. And
What did he mean by that?
well, the item number, I guess, was HH01 for Heil Hitler 01. And
What do you mean by that?
yeah, I don't know. I guess it's still pretty confusing. I just can't understand what he's trying to say.
Well, you know, he's a genius, that Kanye.
It really gets the people talking. There was some, I can't even remember. I watched so many news shows in the morning with someone just be like, he's out there getting the people talking again. And it's just like, is everyone just willfully ignorant to the fact that he's Nazi posting all day and all night?
Yeah, and I'm jealous of those people. And they're just like, oh, that's Kanye. But also, he did this already.
Yeah.
We already went through all this.
For those people, they said the last crazy thing he did was do that church service on a mound in Coachella, where he like made them build in a mountain.
All right.
But then they memory hold all the Nazi stuff.
He went on Alex Jones and made Alex Jones seem sane by comparison.
Yeah, he was doing a little nationwide tour with Nick Fuentes for a while. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, Milo Yiannopoulos apparently worked for him. And then that guy, who's a fucking weirdo provocateur, was so freaked out by Kanye's behavior that he started pleading to the public for help.
Yeah.
And calling out the beefcake dentist.
So
Very odd.
apparently, Kanye deactivated his Twitter account shortly after the ad aired because I guess his work here was done.
I mean,
Or someone stole his phone from him and was like, I'm doing what you are too high to do yourself.
yeah. Maybe it was the naked wife.
But the damage was done. And listen, we're sure it's not the last we heard from Kanye. Now that Trump is back in charge and hate speech is back on the menu, boys. Elsewhere over the weekend, Trump's attempts at dismantling the federal government through Elon Musk and his Gooner squad have continued to face legal challenges because, shockingly, most of his executive orders and nearly all of the actions taken so far by DOGE are in fact illegal. Not even in like a technical sense, just blatantly a violation of like on its face, the separation of powers outlined in the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
But it looks as though the administration is already signaling that it has no intentions of listening to any of those woke DEI judges.
That law is actually a DEI law, and so I do not care.
Founding fathers, they were a bit woke too. Why are we listening to them? In fact, Trump has already ignored at least one court order, and Assistant to the Vice President, J.D. Vance, jumped on Twitter to claim that judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power, which he knows for a fact isn't true, because that's exactly what the separation of powers were intended to do. Also, didn't you go to law school?
Yeah, he famously graduated from Yale Law, so he's
Yale won one too.
yeah, so he appears to be lying intentionally.
This is real basic shit. You don't even have to go to law school for this. You just have to take any U.S. government high school class.
Well, this all started on Saturday when a federal judge blocked Elon Musk and his DOGE team from accessing sensitive data at the Treasury Department. Here's ABC News. A federal judge in New York granted the 19 states suing over DOGE's access to highly sensitive taxpayer records a temporary restraining order. Judge Paul Engelmeyer wrote that the court believed the plaintiffs would face irreparable harm in the absence of injunctive relief. That is both because of the risk that the new policy presents of the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking, the judge wrote. This, along with what we assume was a broad reference to the other legal roadblocks that their administration has faced, caused J.D. Vance to go on Twitter and completely fabricate the idea that the judicial branch can't keep the president in check.
Yeah, and that's particularly rich coming from a Republican when they've spent the last 4 or 5 decades packing the courts with their judges of choice to do exactly that, to be a check on democratic power. But anytime it's Uno reversed on them, what? You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
Here's what J.D. Vance said.
If a judge tried to tell a general how to conduct a military operation, that would be illegal. If a judge tried to command the attorney general in how to use her discretion as a prosecutor, that's also illegal. Judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. I love these guys just doing illegal things constantly and then deciding new things that actually are illegal.
Yeah.
Like Elon multiple times in the past couple of weeks has said, that's illegal. You have committed a crime, to things that are not crimes or illegal.
Yeah.
But so this tells us that no one should be surprised when the Trump administration, and by extension, DOGE, just completely ignores these rulings because what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, who's going to enforce anything? Yeah, I don't know. We're actually, at this moment, testing what the guardrails even are. Yeah, they are touching the third rift.
Founding fathers failed to consider, what if the president was just a huge asshole who decided not to follow the rules?
Yeah.
Did you think about that, Thomas Jefferson? You fucking idiot.
What if the president was just a fat old man who was too lazy to actually do anything, so instead his government was just being run by tech oligarchs, including Peter Thiel and, of course, Elon Musk?
Well, we'll find out. Yeah. We are finding out. A federal judge says that Elon Musk or Trump can't do something. They continue to do it. Then what?
Then what?
What happens then? Yeah, that's what we're going to find out. And in all honesty, we don't have a lot of faith that anything will happen because someone would have to do something. They have to actually enforce the rules. We'd love to be wrong about this, but so far it seems like Trump is not worried at all about legal repercussions. And why the hell would he be? He just dodged like 36 felony charges and a bullet.
Yeah.
For his part, Musk was just posting about how the federal judge that blocked DOGE is protecting corruption and should be impeached.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, if you don't let Elon Musk and his band of 19-year-olds look through every shred of the U.S. government's data, they're clearly hiding something.
Also, another thing that's funny about all this is turns out like the vast majority of like information and screenshots that Elon's tweeting out about like the fruits of his investigations are all like it's stuff anyone can fucking look up. It's publicly available and
It's all audited, and yes.
any person with a computer can look that shit up on the internet and pull up the exact same information. But he's acting like he's like digging around back there with a magnifying glass and stumbling on all these secrets.
Yeah. Well, far be it for anyone to question the Trump administration in any capacity.
They've got the mandate of the people and the mandate of heaven.
And now that he's in charge, everyone in the media should just read all of the White House statements and Truth Social posts as fact with no other analysis.
Yeah.
At least that's what one Fox News host said on air. Well, apparently just going a little mask off for a second, unbeknownst to them or not. And just wondering out loud why other outlets don't just run Trump propaganda since his office is just packaging it and releasing it to them.
It would just be so much easier.
He's putting out the White House statements. Why don't you just read them and shut the fuck up? That's it. Here you go.
The current president's goal is to serve the American people, to run an efficient, bloatless government that actually serves the American people in their time of need and to ensure prosperity. And the fact that the media can't keep up, A, doesn't matter because we're not looking to them for the news anyway. And B, guess what President Trump is doing? His Office of Comms is directly emailing and putting out on Truth Social and putting on the websites every day, all day, all exactly what they're doing. So all you have to do, legacy media, is simply repeat, retweet, repost. And that's the news and that's the facts.
Okay.
Cool. Do we live in North Korea?
But while we're on the topic of Trump's never-ending stream of executive orders, here's one that he signed on Monday morning that seems a little suspicious. From CNBC. President Donald Trump on Monday signed an executive order directing the Department of Justice to pause enforcing a nearly half-century-old law that prohibits American companies and foreign firms from bribing officials of foreign governments to obtain or retain business.
What now? What reasons could you possibly have for doing that?
His reasons are literally everyone else gets to bribe them. Why shouldn't we? Quote, "It sounds good, but it hurts the country," Trump said of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act as he signed the order at the White House. Many deals are unable to be made because nobody wants to do business, because they don't want to feel like every time they pick up the phone, they're going to go to jail, Trump said, referring to U.S. anti-corruption efforts. Nobody wants to work with us. Everyone's always trying to take him to jail for clearly breaking.
You can't do business without a cop breathing down your neck.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, and those eggs are very expensive if you can even get your hands on them. They're very rare.
Very rare.
Yes, but he will get around to solving the egg crisis any day now.
So cool. We're legalizing corruption. Certainly there won't be any unforeseen issues that arise because of these seemingly short-sighted decisions. Take the whole USAID mess, for example. Trump, and more specifically Musk, fed it into the wood chipper for reasons that are unknown, but mostly woke. And we're already starting to see the results of this abrupt end to USAID, specifically in Africa, where soup kitchens that were stocked with food from USAID are no longer able to feed people. Here's the Washington Post with more. Soup kitchens can no longer feed the hungry. First responders are unable to reach the dead and wounded. Mothers and fathers search in vain for the medicines that keep them alive. across Africa, in bombed-out Sudanese cities, Kenyan clinics, and Mauritanian refugee camps, the policies of the Trump administration are already having profound consequences for some of the world's most vulnerable people.
Last week, thousands of stop work orders went out to employees and contractors for the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. USAID suspension has halted national food programs serving millions and shuttered hundreds of community kitchens that operate in areas too dangerous for big agencies to enter. An internal report prepared by aid groups providing health services in Sudan and shared with the Post said more than half of the 10 million people targeted to receive health care probably would lose access because of the cuts. One medical group, which had treated more than 19,000 civilians, mostly women, in the past 2 months in Darfur, said it could no longer offer services without alternative funding. The stop work orders have also grounded efforts to contain a deadly hemorrhagic Marburg outbreak in Tanzania, the spread of an Mpox variant killing children in West Africa, as well as the monitoring of a dangerous bird flu that has been identified in 49 countries, according to Atul Gawande, the former head of global health at USAID. Consequences aren't in some distant future. They are immediate, he wrote on X.
Marburg is, that's bad fucking news. That is scary.
Yeah.
Ebola gets all the attention.
All press.
Ebola, everyone knows about Ebola. Ebola's out there winning all the awards in the Disease Academy Awards. Marburg is like Ebola-like. It's not good. There's a book called The Hot Zone that's about mostly about a Marburg outbreak, and it's fucking terrifying. It's not a disease you want out of control in any fucking way at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, if for some reason you only care about domestic issues, well, where do you think all the ingredients, food, and supplies for this aid came from? A whole hell of a lot of American businesses and farmers just took an immediate financial hit by losing these contracts.
Yeah.
And for how long? Well, no one knows. Maybe forever?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Once again, from the Washington Post, U.S. businesses that sold goods and services to USAID are in limbo. That includes American farms, which supply about 41% of the food aid that the agency, working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, sends around the world each year, according to a 2021 report by the Congressional Research Service. In 2020, the U.S. government bought $2.1 billion in food aid from American farmers. Purchases and shipments of U.S. food aid worth over $340 million, including rice, wheat, and soybeans, have been paused during Trump's foreign aid freeze, according to officials and an email obtained by the Post.
Seemed like it was working pretty well.
But now they're just going to dump all that wheat in the lake.
Yeah.
Let the fish have it.
Well, also on the chopping block in recent days, anything even closely resembling a DEI initiative or any phrases that could potentially be tied to our country's greatest enemy, which is, of course, diversity, equity, and inclusion for some.
The axis of evil.
Over on Judd Legum's Popular Info, he acquired a memo that was distributed to National Security Agency leadership listing 27 words that are banned moving forward. And also, it demanded that the NSA delete any websites or internal network content that contained the banned words. And despite taking a great risk of potentially losing our channel by uttering these offensive words, brace yourself. These are the words that the Trump administration have deemed way too naughty.
Shit, piss, fuck, oh, wait, no, those were George Carlin's 7 words that you can't say on television. Here are the Trump administration's 27 words that you can't say at all.
Yeah.
Anti-racism, racism, allyship, bias, DEI, diversity, diverse, confirmation bias. What? Equity, equitableness, feminism, gender, gender identity, inclusion, inclusive, all-inclusive, inclusivity, injustice, intersectionality, prejudice, privilege, racial identity, sexuality, what? Stereotypes, pronouns, transgender, equality. I feel like a lot of these probably have a lot of usage outside of the double meanings, the specific meaning they're targeting here.
Yeah. How is Eric Adams going to get his all-inclusive trips to and from Turkey? We'll get to him in a second. But yeah, there's a lot of words there that you would assume could get caught up in some kind of filter that they're using to just mass delete a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I saw like some scientists posting on Blue Sky over the past couple of weeks of like being told by their bosses to just go and like find and replace. Like,
oh yeah,
because like, you know, in the scientific, you know, the word diverse it's not talking about race all the time. It's talking
the Latin word in there.
like so they're just like having to do this like
Workaround. Yeah,
it's essentially to come up with synonyms to words.
It's like how the TikTok kids go around saying suicide and other things.
Grape.
Yeah, and unalive.
Yeah.
So that's what scientists are doing now to keep research alive. Cool. Anyway, all those words that we just said definitely gonna get some people very angry at us.
Should probably bleep them all.
Yeah.
I can already hear the alarm bells on YouTube's back end going off, fining us multiple credits for violating the verbal morality statute.
But we don't care.
No,
We don't care.
we're not on board with that.
No.
But it's okay because today's episode is sponsored, so it doesn't matter. YouTube, do what you will.
Yeah.
Because Turtle Beach is sponsoring this show and shielding us from demonetization.
And shielding our ears from bad audio.
Their big turtle shell is protecting us from YouTube's censorship.
Winter has arrived, but don't panic. That's not a bad thing. It's an excuse to cancel all your plans. Slap on your Turtle Beach headset and game until the sun finally decides to come back. For a marathon winter gaming session, you're going to want the most comfortable headset in the world with superhuman hearing technology. Turtle Beach's new Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset picks up so much crystal clear sound, it's basically cheating. Even if the snowblower is going off outside, you will hear every footstep, every reload, every enemy sneaking up on you like they're stomping through your living room in tap dancing shoes.
And Turtle Beach headsets are so freaking comfortable, you'll feel like you're wearing a marshmallow cloud pillow on your head. Best of all, the Stealth 700 has the industry's first ever crossplay dual wireless transmitter system. That means you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and PC with just a click of a button. And it gets even better. While being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can connect with your phone for music streaming or taking calls at the same time. Imagine listening to Kendrick Lamar while going on a kill streak in Call of Duty. For a limited time only, get 10% off your entire order with code TODAYDAILY at turtlebeach.com. Don't miss out. Stay warm and level up your game with 10% off at turtlebeach.com using promo code TODAYDAILY. New year, new gaming gear.
And we've both been rocking this headset for a while now. I've been playing the new season of Diablo 4, and a lot of sounds in that game. A lot of things to listen.
Many sounds.
Not only is it super comfortable for those long gaming sessions, and it definitely gives you the sound quality and the edge that you need, the battery life is insane. It is very nice having a wireless headset that you almost never have to think about charging. We all have that one friend whose headset always seems to die right when you're down to the last two teams. It's got boogers in it. It's gross. But Turtle Beach's Stealth 700, booger-free. And it has an insane 80-hour battery life with quick charge, so you rarely have to think about charging it. And they don't have just amazing headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and they're all high quality at prices that don't break the bank.
And all booger-free.
From flight and racing simulators to controllers, keyboards, and mice. Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. So, this winter, forget the cold. Grab your Turtle Beach Gen 3 Stealth 700 and level up your gaming experience. Head to turtlebeach.com, use our code TODAYDAILY for 10% off your entire order. That is 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code TODAYDAILY.
Back to the news now. And remember that tiny little pointless trade war that Trump kicked off against Canada and Mexico last week?
You could forget. With everything that's going on, we almost got into a significant trade war.
Yeah, a little trade war.
Our two neighbors, yeah.
So that was the one that only lasted a few hours before everyone agreed there was a stupid idea. Remember that? Well, I guess Trump found a workaround because on Monday of this week, Trump raised tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to 25%. You probably already know where this is going, but where do you think the U.S. imports the majority of its steel and aluminum from?
Yeah,
That's right. Canada and Mexico.
we really love sticking it to our best trading partners and geographical neighbors. Don't he said I couldn't do it, but I found a way.
Here's Reuters with more. The tariffs would hit allies as the four biggest sources of steel imports are Canada, Brazil, Mexico, and South Korea.
Let's delay the four of all your best friend. Just
Jesus fucking Christ. Monday's tariffs almost immediately drew criticism from Canada, the largest source of steel imports. Candace Lang, president and CEO of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, said that Trump was a destabilizing force in the global economy. Correct. Today's news makes it clear that perpetual uncertainty is here to stay, said Lang.
That is the nicest way to put it.
Yeah, and it's true. Like, this has not been good for the markets. The S&P and the NASDAQ, the Dow, they've all kind of flatlined for the last, basically since the election.
Yeah.
It's fluctuating here or there, but you look at it and it's got a steady climb of the last.
Everyone's like, what the fuck is happening? What's gonna stick and what's real and what isn't?
It's uncertainty is bad for markets.
It continues. Glenn Stevens Jr., executive director of Mish Auto, said that the auto industry would likely need to raise prices in response to the tariffs.
What?
No. I was told it would lower prices. In turn, higher prices would decrease sales and hurt companies' bottom lines, leading to fewer factory jobs.
No, do the opposite.
If you look at sudden tariffs to a system, there isn't a lot of good that comes out of that, said Stevens. His remarks challenging Trump's own statements that his policies would stimulate massive gains in auto industry jobs. So aside from that, another slightly bizarre but seemingly less consequential move from Trump this week was his announcement that the U.S. might do away with the humble penny, which, you know what, fine. Yeah, fine. He can have this one. You know what? Go do it. Make sure this one occupies all of your time.
Well, what am I supposed to suck on?
Nothing tastes better than a mouthful of pennies. Am I right, boys?
Yeah, no, this is good. This is, I feel like a lot of countries in the EU, not all of them, but like a lot of them got rid of pennies.
Yeah, it is
a long time.
It's kind of fucking pointless. I mean, this is something that has had bipartisan support in the past, and people have been wondering when this would even happen for decades.
The only thing is, we're like one of the few countries that does sales tax the way we do it.
Yeah, usually it's priced in.
Yeah, they'd have to do something about that, because
Then you'd be rounding up, and it certainly wouldn't benefit you. It probably
yeah, if it's a round up, I don't like that. No. How about you just factor in the tax to the price?
like every other, yeah. So Canada, of course, did away with their penny, and they're still alive up there for now. So
got their loonies, the
yeah.
pennies.
So sure, why not? And he has a decent reason too. Surprise, we kind of agree. Pennies cost too much. They cost way more than they're worth.
They more than pay for themselves in flavor.
They actually cost nearly, according to the U.S. Mint, 4 times what they are worth. So it seems pretty fucking
You
pointless.
can't put a price on money, though, can you, folks?
Actually, you can't.
Oh.
And it's 4 times a
A
penny.
few things you can. So yeah, according to the U.S. Mint, it costs nearly 4 cents to make 1 penny. And for what? So I can burden the barista with my leftovers? Here, you throw this.
You figure it out.
So I can spend years filling up a gigantic jug and hurt my back trying to take it to the Coinstar to get counted so I can get $10 out of a fucking machine. Not even $10 cash, $10 an Amazon dollar.
And I'll tell you something. If you got kids, they're stealing money out of that all the time. We used to do it.
Yeah,
My buddy Chad, his dad, he never filled that jug. We were buying.
I keep putting money in here and it just never fills up. Here's the Associated Press with more on the death of the penny. President Donald Trump says he has directed the Treasury Department to stop minting new pennies, citing the rising cost of producing the 1-cent coin. For too long, the United States has minted pennies, which literally cost us more than 2 cents. This is so wasteful, Trump wrote in a post Sunday night on his Truth Social site.
Presumably on his flight back from the Super Bowl when he decided to go out against the penny.
Yeah.
He saw one because he had to go to the regular people. He saw a penny and it pissed him off, so he's
Why
like,
not interact with any regular people? I've instructed my Secretary of the U.S. Treasury to stop producing new pennies. The U.S. Mint reported losing $85.3 million in the 2024 fiscal year that ended in September on the nearly 3.2 billion pennies it produced. Every penny costs nearly 3.7 cents, up from 3.1 cents the year before. The Mint also loses money on the nickel, with each of the 5-cent coins costing nearly 14 cents to mint. What are we doing?
yeah.
It is unclear whether Trump has the power to unilaterally eliminate the lowly 1-cent coin. Currency specifications, including the size and metal contents of coins, are dictated by Congress. Okay, well, they're
Again,
I wonder how's he going to bypass Congress? What? Just wake up today.
how's he going to wriggle his way out of this one?
We're a month into this shit. You know what he's going to do.
Dude, the conservatives are going to be out burning their pennies.
That's right.
No, they should swallow them. Yeah, that's how you get rid of them.
Yeah.
Delicious pennies. Obama said you can't lick the penny anymore. But now that Trump's in charge,
Yeah.
I'm getting them all over my fillings.
I'm going to go protest and stop licking pennies. Stop swallowing your pennies. No, we need pennies. I love the penny. And they're going to film themselves just guzzling pennies.
In 20 years,
And I'm going to be so owned.
there's going to be an Adult Swim show that gets a bunch of like kids hyped up on the taste of a penny.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. It's a very distinct flavor.
I mean, even our generation, we didn't get the full effect because our pennies are mostly zinc.
Yeah.
Back in the good old days,
Oh yeah.
when it was copper. Oh baby.
The electrical charge. Yeah. I don't know why we're on this conversation. I've never put a penny in my mouth intentionally.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
But they smell weird. They smell like
It's like blood. It's yeah.
yeah.
So out of all of the things that Trump has done or tried to do in his first few weeks back in office, this one is pretty low on our list of things to care about.
You know what? Let him focus as much of his energy on this.
Exactly. Though,
In fact, I'm going to go out right now and say, please, no, Mr. Trump, sir, do not
My precious pennies
No, don't.
from my cold dead hands, Mr. President, from my giant water jug in a closet.
No, I love my pennies. I need them.
The one that is creating a dent in the floor because it's so heavy.
He should remove Lincoln from the penny and put his own face on it.
He wouldn't put it on a worthless coin like that.
That's right. He should bring back like the $1,000 bill. Put his face on that.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if this were just the first step towards just deleting all traditional currency, enforcing everyone to use the blockchain. And those,
Well, I don't like that.
no, you're going to have to get the Trump bucks on the blockchain to buy your eggs. And they're all Fabergé going forward because they're way too valuable to just eat and crack. But speaking of bizarre decisions, you would assume that it would be way too obvious and openly corrupt for Trump to pardon a corrupt politician simply because he kissed the ring, right? Well, no, because Trump has officially pardoned former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. Hello, kids. Do you remember Rod Blagojevich?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you don't because you're under the age of 25?
It's one of the funniest political scandals. Dude's a fucking moron.
He was caught on audio trying to sell a Senate seat.
I'm doing corruption. Just so we're clear, what I am doing is fucking corrupt.
He wasn't even just selling any old Senate seat. It was President Barack Obama's Senate
It's
seat.
a big God. I used to know like what he said on the tape like by heart because I was watching a lot.
I got something so malleable.
Like it's a big fucking deal here.
Yeah.
I'm not just giving this up for nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, he is the guy who tried to sell Barack Obama's Senate seat and was indicted and convicted on charges including wire fraud and extortion.
See, guys, you just kiss the ring, you play nice, and old Donnie, he can make all your problems go away. And nobody exemplifies the proper way to shine Trump's shoes like current New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who didn't even have the chance to get pardoned because Trump just went ahead and directed his Justice Department to officially drop all of the pending charges against Eric Adams.
It's a pre-pardon.
Almost certainly just because Adams has been meeting with Trump and agreed to help facilitate ICE raids in New York City.
Yeah.
Or going forward, literally anything the president asks of him because he's now owned by the president. He said he won't be criticizing him publicly. That's all. He's going to keep it to himself.
And I mean, well, you've seen mob movies. First, they're like, okay, yeah, you're nice to me. You do this thing. I'm going to direct the Justice Department to drop these charges. It's not going to stop there. He's going to have a lot of requests from Eric Adams. And just as easily as he made those charges go away, I'm sure Trump can find something else because it's fucking Eric Adams.
Right. So, hey, Eric, the fact that, yeah, it's not a pardon, it's just, well,
We're going to drop the charge.
dropping charges. That doesn't mean they can't come back at some point.
Yeah,
Like,
he is
owns him.
under the thumb of Donald Trump now.
Also, like, again, we covered
His freedom is on the line.
They covered this pretty extensively when it first dropped a few months ago. This man, they got him dead to rights. Yeah, like he definitely did that shit.
Text messages, just like bank statements. Yeah,
Really dumb corruption, but just very corrupt and not surprising at all if you know anything about Eric Adams.
But it's absolutely wild that, one of the top 3 cities in the entire nation, the mayor of that city is quite literally could be blackmailed at any moment, or threatened by the president in a very real way, in a very legal, real way.
It might be too late, but the governor of New York really fucked up here because she could have removed him as mayor just when the charges were filed.
Yeah.
But she chose to trust the fucking process and look at where we are now.
Yeah, well, this worked out for Trump.
If you live in New York City, the deadline for registering to vote in the primary is like this week. So
Register to vote.
make sure you're registered.
Because, yeah, he can get voted out at the end of this year.
Well, the primary's in like June, I think.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's New York. So otherwise you'd have to be a Republican beats him in the general. He has to lose the Democratic primary to really not get reelected. So anyway, here's CBS News. The Department of Justice told federal prosecutors in New York to drop their corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, citing his restricted ability to help the Trump administration enforce its immigration policies. They admit it.
Yeah.
Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove sent a memo instructing prosecutors in the Southern District of New York to abandon the charges. You are directed, as authorized by the Attorney General, to dismiss the pending charges, Bove wrote in a memo Monday, adding that the department reached this conclusion without assessing the strength of the evidence or the legal theories on which the case is based. and in no way calls into question the integrity and efforts of the prosecutors who brought the case.
Yeah, this is pretty airtight, but you know what? Just
Listen, I'm not saying you didn't have a really great case there, but he's a lot more useful to us as a pawn.
yes.
The decision to drop the charges will still need to be formally submitted by prosecutors and approved by the judge overseeing the case.
And yeah, in the hours that followed this announcement, Adams has already instructed New York City officials to, quote, avoid criticizing the Trump administration. And here's the New York Times with more on that, which, again, this is just the beginning. This guy is totally owned for the next couple of months. Mayor Eric Adams on Monday urged a gathering of high-ranking New York City officials to refrain from publicly criticizing the Trump administration over concerns that such criticism could endanger federal funding for the city's priorities. The mayor convened the morning meeting with his deputy mayors, agency heads, and legal counsels to allow them to air their concerns about how the city has responded to President Trump's policies, including on immigration, according to 3 officials who attended the meeting. The mayor said that if he were to comment on social media about Trump administration immigration policies, for example, it would not help the city get funds for public housing or schools, and could put at risk $2 billion worth of infrastructure projects, 2 of the officials said.
So it seems like Trump has, to quote Eric Adams, Trump has made his haters his waiters at the table of success.
Yes. Yeah. Well, to me, it sounds like straight up corruption where he is. Also, like, by the way, he's threatening to withhold federal funding, stuff that's been earmarked for us anyway. He's going to take that away if we're not really nice to him.
Yeah, but Trump is going to let him rename the city New Istanbul.
Yeah.
Because what is York even? No
We
one.
need to go back to Constantinople.
Yeah. So in his frantic warnings to city officials, Adams has confirmed what everyone already knew. Trump is already using mafia tactics to get what he wants out of cities that didn't vote for him. He will punish them unless they fall in line, and he will withhold funding or support if anyone makes fun of him online or in public.
It's been really kind of fascinating to watch any press event where Trump is present with the people that he's installed in his administration, because the first thing they do when they come to the mic is heap praise on Donald Trump for he's a good boy, a solid like paragraph.
Who's a good boy?
And then they get into whatever they're talking about, and it happens with every person. It's pretty crazy.
But it looks like California might not have to worry about Trump much longer, because in response to his attempts to buy Greenland, Denmark has pitched an offer to buy California.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was done as a joke because, sorry, not for sale.
Yeah, we just won a total cultural victory with Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl halftime show. We are not interested.
Yeah.
In
But also, I like Denmark.
not a bad place.
I've been to Copenhagen a couple times. It's a lovely place. Yeah. But not yet. Greenland's not for sale either. So, I don't know. Let's hear the pitch. If we're dignifying any of this, yeah, which we are.
Yeah.
This comes from the Daily Mail, but who cares? It's never going to happen anyway. So, Danish campaigners are proposing to buy California from the United States and turn it into a territory of Denmark in response to Donald Trump's bid to acquire Greenland. The Denmarkification campaign says it seeks to crowdfund $1 trillion to purchase the U.S. state, after which it plans to instill it with Danish values and make the most of its sunny weather and resources. I mean, we've already got Solvang.
Yeah, so it'd be really easy.
Yeah.
It's the Solvangification of Southern California.
You know what? I think that'd be fine.
In the beautiful Chumash Valley. Yeah. The campaign to help Denmark buy California because why not was started by Xavier Dutoy, and its online petition has racked up some 200,000 signatures in a matter of hours. Promises include renaming the state New Denmark and turning its Disney resort into Hans Christian Andersen Land, complete with a Viking helmet wearing Mickey Mouse. The page suggests that the lofty fundraising goal of $1 trillion could be easily reached if every Dane pledged just 200,000 kroner, or $18,000. It promises to imbue the state with Danish customs and values, saying, and sorry for butchering this, we'll bring hygge to Hollywood, bike lanes to Beverly Hills, and organic smørrebrød to every street corner, before adding rule of law, universal health care, and fact-based politics might apply.
You know what? I'm down.
You know what? We are for sale.
I mean, listen,
That 2-block stroll through Solvang really got to me. Yeah, and now I want everywhere to look like Solvang.
I'm over being part of the United States, so I'm exploring all possible options.
Yeah, we are taking this under consideration. I'll get back to you, Denmark.
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And it's about time for Copenhagen to come back and put Zin out of business.
Yeah,
If you're a real man, you'd tip actual tobacco.
that's right. We're bringing it back.
Not backing.
Anyways, thank you to James Williams. Again, everyone go buy the Answer for It VOD while you can.
Yeah, it's only up for a limited time.
It was a real blast. I had a great time.
You got the grab the chant CTE. Forgot about that. So check that out, please. Obviously, we know it costs money, but it costs money to produce that show.
Yeah.
I mean, James is not making money off of this, so it's a great time. You can support what he's doing by paying to watch it, and you'll get it's 90 minutes of entertainment.
Yeah, it's a whole ass show.
But in the meantime, we'll be back for more tech news and all that kind of stuff. But make sure you click the like button on the video, because that helps us the most directly. It's instant. It's awesome. We love it. Leave a comment, talk about anything we mentioned today, or just throw your keyboard in the trash. Bye.
Tigers all over.
You ever see a guy wave bye to a keyboard? Yep, once. And then I got a Turtle Beach. Anyways, we'll see you soon. Our other videos are popping up here. Watch those, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.